Hello everybody. I started a video earlier and I was disrupted because my niece was picking me up, and I was talking about how the right woman is always a lot of work. One of the things that separates a man from the woman that can really thrust his potential into reality is that she calls for a different level of commitment, and she calls for him to put in more work than he's ever probably done before. She does not come as easily as the women that he's dealt with previously, and this many times discourages a man, especially when he does not have a grown man's mindset. The right woman that's going to bring favor into your life and really help you to manifest all that God has put in you is going to always call you to invest more than you've ever done before. When you look at even Adam and Eve, before God gave Adam his wife, the first thing Adam had to do was sacrifice. God put him to sleep and cut him open, took out a rib. They say that's one of the most painful operations you can have, is to have a rib removed. God made Adam sacrifice a rib to produce a wife for him. The first thing Adam does once he meets Eve for the first time, she's a naked woman and he's a full-grown man, and the first thing he does is he has conversation with her. Those are the two things that separate the men from the boys when it comes down to embracing the right woman. We don't want to sacrifice. We don't want to change anything relative to the way we view life and the way we want things done. We don't want to sacrifice for her. And number two, we don't want to take the time to get to know her through conversation. It behooves you to understand that when the right woman comes into your life, she is going to be high maintenance, not in the sense of spending all of the money in the mall, which she will even deserve a lot of that, but she's going to be high maintenance in that you're going to have to readjust your life, your priorities, and everything pertaining to you for her. Any woman worth having is always going to cost you a lot. So she's always going to be a lot of work. But the work that you put in is going to be so worth it, because God gives us the right woman for a few reasons. And number one is this: a man is born with seed, and seed is representative of nothing but potential. Nothing but potential. A seed is simply a pod of potential. Every seed needs soil. When a woman comes into a man's life, biologically, reproductively, but also spiritually, she represents the soil to the man's seed. A man can have a life full of potential, and he can be doing pretty good, but when he meets the right woman and he makes the right investment, that woman takes his seed and she reproduces, or she brings forth harvest. She's a lot of work, but she produces more in your life than anything you can give. Don't run away. Don't shy away from the right woman, because she's costing you more than you've ever had to pay. You know, I was sitting and thinking, when I was a kid, I could go to the drugstore, K&B it was called, Katz and Bestoff in New Orleans, and I could buy a Timex watch. At that time, probably for $5, $6, maybe $10 at the most, I could buy a Timex watch. When I got older and I learned what a Rolex was, I realized that I couldn't just run to the corner drugstore and buy a Rolex. Number one, it was hard to even find in New Orleans where they would sell them. Number two, I realized that I had to have a lot more money to attain a Rolex than I did a Timex. And I was a very grown man before I ever had my first Rolex. Now, it cost more, it took longer to acquire, but the value is undeniable. There are a lot of you, my brothers, that are watching this, and you have great women in your life or in your lives, and you're saying to yourself, I'm tired of this. No woman's ever put me through this. No woman's ever brought into your life what the right woman is going to produce. The right woman is always going to cost you more. She's always a lot of work. She's going to demand honesty. She's going to demand fidelity. She's going to demand that you respect her. She's going to demand that you work hard for her. She's going to demand that you give her your very best. She's going to demand that you get off of your behind and maximize your potential as a man. She's going to demand a lot from you. But what she's going to give you, what she's going to bring into your life is going to be priceless. You know, my wife and I just recently celebrated 22 years of marriage. And when I look at my wife, and I cannot even articulate to you the value that she has brought into my life. Now we're at a point where we're getting older together, and I'm just looking back over my life, and I'm thinking about how she's raised my children. She's educated my children. Education doesn't really happen at the schoolhouse, it happens at the kitchen table. She's been an honorable woman. She's brought stability to my life. She's kept me together, you know, because by nature, as men, most of the time we're disorganized. We have a lot of ideas, but we don't have plans or strategies on how to implement them. She's held my life together. She's given me a foundation. She's covered me. She's covered my flaws. She's made me better where I wasn't so good. You got to have the right wife. You got to have the right woman in your life. And when you find her, she's going to have a hefty price tag. And watch this. She ain't giving no discounts, but pay the price. Pay the price and it will change your life. Pay the price and it will change your life. And to you, my sisters, I know sometimes you go to looking at the clock and you're looking at the calendar and you're looking at how old you are now. Don't discount yourself. You are the most precious thing that God created. Do not discount yourself. Wait for the right man that will see your value and is man enough, wise enough, deep enough to pay the price that you require. Don't discount yourself. Don't discount yourself. So I just wanted to break in and finish that. I didn't get a chance to earlier. And this thing is dear to my heart because I know what the right woman can do for you. And I know what it means to a man's life to have the right woman in it. Don't miss the right woman, man, because she's a little difficult to deal with at times. They all are. They all are. They have high demands and they have great expectations. But what they produce in your life is unquestionable. Share this, and just know I love you and I'm praying for you. And y'all pray for me. All right? I'll talk to you soon. If you're in Los Angeles, Thursday night, I'm looking for you. It's a father-daughter talk, Queenology experience. 7510 South Vermont. The Ansel City Church. Free event.